Hey everybody, thank you for joining me. Well, as the title suggests, we're just going to be looking into some coding resources. Behind me, you see Eloquent JavaScript. You can follow that link there. This would teach you about JavaScript. I do know up to a certain point of JavaScript, but so far, like it's pretty good. It's dense though, so if you need to take your time, then do so. Also, the curriculum I follow is the 100 devs. You can go to communitytalk.org. Um, you go to the classes. These are the classes I've done so far. So, the extent of my knowledge is the arrays, and then the practice of JavaScript arrays, and I'm going here. You can see all the classes here. Brings you. This is more of like a what to expect type format. Is it long? It's like 3 hours. Is usually how long the videos last. So this is 100 devs. This is what I follow. Um, he even goes into what freelancing is here, how to start freelancing. So if you're interested in that, there's that. Also, I'll share my freelancing journey that I've been on. So because I do freelance. So and between learning loops and stuff like that, all that's here. GitHub teaches you how to use that, fix your resume. Also, they have a Discord, which you could find it in here, or I can link it below. Either one. Just let me know in the comments. I guess if you want that, and that would be something you're interested in, you could do that. I've also done, what is it, Scrimba? Scrumba is a paid option, as opposed to 100 devs because it's free. But they do have a lot of learning, like full stack developer here. You can learn React here, 15 hours. It's an approximation of how long it should take you. Granted, sometimes it takes you longer. I did begin this, but I didn't want to keep paying. But you can see the paths up here. The paths are unlocked when you pay for it, and then you have the free option here. There's also the Odin project, excuse me, I can't talk for whatever reason. Um, which is a free code camp. And you can start learning here. It goes. It pretty much. This is essentially what it's going to take you at least to a couple projects. They have a couple projects in here. As you can see, I'm not signed in, but you can learn it through here in CSS, which is awesome. Building a recipe page isn't too bad. I know in 100 devs you do build, like you start building projects like from Go, well from class 2 and 3, I believe, and onward. And he assigns homework and stuff like that, so you click here, so you to follow along, to check in, motivation for the day, and then you know BBC website and using the MDN, which is another thing we're going to go over. And he also has recommended reading, um, which are all super helpful. Some of it may take a minute to settle in. However, you just you go at it at your own pace and things like that. So it's really, just depending on you, your schedule, and whatever your time constraints are, working those out. MDN has it's everything in here. Definitions. Oftentimes, if I'm struggling with something, like for instance, I struggle with forms, right? So I just type form, form element for HTML, right? I struggle with that, but here's the code for it. And then down below, like it breaks down like other stuff in that that's relative to that. You can try it out here. You can see the CSS for styling in here. I would recommend anybody go through the MDN. They also have a learning portion. I did not go through this, so I don't have like a fine point to I guess say how the curriculum holds up here. But I do know is if you're looking stuff up, you can even scroll on the side here and see different tags. Some of the tags are what you call it, like BR. You saw me use it in one of my videos. It um you don't need to do that. You don't need to use the BR tag. Instead, you could do it in CSS. However, um sometimes I feel it's simpler to do it that way because then you have to debate like what you call it uh separation of concerns is what you'd call it. So you have your HTML file, your CSS file, and your JavaScript file, and then you just link them all to or reference. You reference them in your HTML. And anyway, 100 devs goes into that, right? So the Odin project is good. 100 devs is good. Which those two are free. Scrimba is paid, right? And there's a lot more in free code camp outside from the Odin project. You can go to curriculums here. I know they're working on a couple others, but you can see them here. You know, um, I know that in the 100 devs community, that they do job, nah, what would you call it? Like job prep, right? So it's mainly geared towards finding you a job versus you having all the skills. But they do have how they reference that is by basically learning space repetition and how to learn. Which there's something in Coursera. There's a workaround to get around that paid wall because they hid learn how to learn. But if you're a veteran like me, you know you have access to it. You don't have to pay anything. But if you're not a veteran, then you're, you're trying to work around, and it's in their Discord. And if you want that below, y'all tell me. Or if you know it, put it in the comments. Let's see. Yeah, so I brought up space repetition. So 100 Devs is where I was introduced to basically a lot of stuff. So I'm not necessarily saying they're the greatest on the planet. However, it just depends on you and your learning style, right? So um, you can go to, what is it, Anki? Is it? Yeah, AnkiWeb.net, right? AnkiWeb.net. You log in, and then you end up downloading it, right? It's a download, and so here's in. Hold on, real quick. Here is my Anki, um, and I review it. I'm not gonna lie and say every day. I do my best to do it every day, or a couple of them, right? So, and how this works is it's a program basically. As you go over the cards, just like you would in I forgot what the other tool is called. It's online now. That you use anyway, just like the flashcards, right? Except it's delayed. The deeper you know it, the more you get out of it, right? Like for instance, we'll show an example, right? Study now. Where does get stored? I type this in, right? You put it in and you put in the answer. Um, where does get stores all the changes to your files? It stores it in your local directory or a local repo, right? And a hidden file called it. Like I know that, but because I didn't answer it, I'm the one that typed it, so I want my answer to be. That's just me, my preference. I know I'm around the way to the correct answer, or it is the correct answer in a way, but I want it to be exact for um I want to say verbiage, but how I say it, I want it to sound exactly to that or closer to that. So I'll just mark it hard for 15 minutes, and I'll see it again in 15 minutes, right? So there's that. Generally, attributes include a name and a value. Yep, include a name and a value. So I do it this way. You don't have to do it this way, but and you can design it however. Honestly, you can go through your whole what do you call it? You can go through all the cards that you've made, And it makes really good, and it makes your connection stick because there's that the forgetting curve, right? That helps flatten that, and that's studied by a few people, and you can read the studies on that. Let's see other resources. So say you're already making a site, right? And you don't necessarily know where to start, or maybe you just want a template to kind of mess with, right? You can use HTML5 up, use our templates. You can go through a live demo, look at it, ooh, nice. Okay. And you can go and edit all of what's here, including this, the massively, um I forgot what you call a bar, HTML5 up. You can edit all of that. This background picture, all that cool stuff is a good tool to use. If that's something you want to do, you don't have to do that. You can make them all your websites from scratch. If you want, like hosting. Okay, since we're talking about you can go to Netlify, right? You go to Netlify. Not how do you see just Netlify? It keeps bouncing me here. Anyway, you go to Netlify. I'm not gonna you're not gonna find it, but in Netlify got an app like you can get your webs hosted. You can log in with your GitLab or GitHub or GitHub or whatever, or you can log in with your Google account and so you have that oriented. So, how that works is you essentially just you build your website in VS Code or whatever code IDE that you're using. Um, whatever development environment that you're using. And so you go ahead and you finish that, and then you upload or drag because it's drag and drop. You can drag, drop it, and it basically will host it. They will all have like a dot. What do you call it? Like, hold on. There you go. Like a dot netlify dot app. So you go through your. This is my portfolio. Um, you go through here, and so you I have to change my picture. Obviously, I've had dreads well, I've had locks for a smooth while now. So you do that, and it's drag and drop. You put it up here, it'll look just like how I did in your VS Code when you run it. So there's that. Let's see. Other resources. I have a lot in here. If you want to do web, like cybersecurity, why it's in here is because I did do try hack me and yeah, and hack the box. I have attempted that, and Microsoft has something here also. Let's see. Layouts to do layouts in CSS. You have Flexbox zombies. It's like a gamified version in order for you to understand Flexbox. Mine, I love it. I love Flexbox zombies. Flexbox Froggy is great too. But yeah. So this is Flexbox Froggy. I would recommend if you don't necessarily know how Flexbox works, this would definitely help. You read, you play, and that's pretty much how that works. Um, let's see, and then you have Flexbox Zombies. You sign in, and it's basically you killing zombies. It also has background music. Sometimes it's delayed. I don't know why that happens, but it's delayed music, but it plays and it works. Let's see something else here. Then you have a book called The JS Way, right? Because I'm learning the MERN stack. This is honestly this is a good read. Have I read all of it? No, but I am going to read all of it. I don't know if you guys are interested in me actually reading the content and then following through with the content. I don't know, but I'm usually in my Discord where I do all of that. So And I even go through the classes. Some of the classes are all like the super review that I'm on because I restarted. Had some stuff going on, and so I restarted from class I think 10 in 100 devs and moved on forward. So I'm doing the what is it? Yeah, front end crash course super review. It is over 9 hours. So I'm probably gonna break it up in 2 days or maybe get it all done today. I'm just gonna divide the time, right? So you can do it like that. Anyway, and there's another. Let's see. And don't feel like you don't have to rule. Believe me. I have I have done plenty of being stuck in a loop. Um, racking in my brain to try to figure out certain things. When you can just Google it, just Google it. There's nothing wrong with that. Just Google it. Save yourself the trouble. Google it. Let's see here. The JS word is. Alright, there's another one. You can do Code Academy, JavaScript, which is that's recommended like homework from 100 devs, but I find it good. He has 100 devs has a couple of things that are what do you call it? Like reading. Why? Because a lot of times you're going to be stuck with documentation, or you have to read it from documentation, and you want to be able to do so. So you practice that. Do I do Code Wars from time to time? I haven't done it in a while, so I'm going to be back to doing that pretty soon. I haven't done it as of this new year, right? But I'm going to. If you want to see that, y'all let me know in the comments. Um, whether that would, I guess, provide more feedback or entertainment, rather, right? Do, 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 do. What was there going? Oh yeah, here, JavaScript.info. The myth, the legend. Man, it's good. It's good. I've only read up to the arrays, but let's go here, right? It goes all the way to objects. Honestly, by the time I learn how to manipulate objects, I'm probably going to make games on the side, right? That won't be the main thing I do. However, I mean, I like games, right? And I practice the piano in my time, so I'll be making songs to go with it. So if y'all want to see that, y'all let me know in the comments. Like that'd be dope. Um, I think that'd be dope to do. And to see what y'all enjoy about it. Or if you have questions about it, which would be cool. Because I understand that, and I'd be running that with probably FL Studio. I guess since I already got out of that, and I use it from time to time. Let me see. Okay, so yeah, it goes from an introduction to the fundamentals and on down, as you can read. Right, it's great. It's great. I have not read all of it. I intend to. And soon. Oh, let's see. Make a site. Another thing to save yourself time. If you don't know how to type without looking, here's some things to do. You can do tip 10 or monkey type or 10 fast fingers. There's a lot of them. A lot of people do. Typing trainer. Like there's a lot of them that's free. I do this one, right? And they unlock the letters as you go, right? So I do this about every day. I don't stream it. I don't know if y'all would like that. Y'all would have to. So especially it helps touch typing because if you're going for a job like it's if you can't type without looking, I've heard that I don't know, like they don't like too much of that. I don't know what I missed it, but so that would be good to know. Um, I have been touch typing for not even a year, to be honest. Not even a year. I think the fastest I can type currently is in the upper 60, like upper 60s when I'm in a flow. So, and there's a lot of free ways to do this. Like obviously, if you pay the money, you ain't got to, you don't have to see the ads. But again, I do this like in my Discord, what all I'm doing, what all I'm doing, right? So, and I know I can get stuck here, so this will be the last one. I don't know what this fell on my desk. I don't even know why I got a 94. Anyway, and I try to keep it up to my accuracy to 97. So also what I like about it, since we're talking resources, like typing, touch typing and typing pretty fast, um, I deem it helpful. Um, there's also touch typing for code, which I didn't know until someone introduced me to it. So this is typing.io. You select your language that you're using, or yeah, or whatever, and you start there. I haven't started any of these. It's just so you know. This is free from what I understand. Like again, I haven't used it, but uh, I had that in a way. Wait, wait. I'm pressing equals, and I know I am. I'm pressing equals. Okay. Like I said, I'm not familiar with it, so I can't really show you the ins and outs of that. But yeah. And so you practice typing code. Um, I would suggest touch typing regular words first, then typing code, um, because that's what I'm doing. But if you find it more suitable to practice the code versus, um, you know, typing real words, and I mean that's cool. All that's cool, and it works as long as it works for you, right? Uh, let's see. There's other touch typing rules. I'm not gonna go through it. I like Nitro Type. I like Nitro Type primarily because you're racing against other people and you can set up your own matches. Um, I'm at legend status, and that's really I'm only at legend status because consistency of how often I do it. So and how long I do it too. Anyway, so that's enough of that. Other resources. So if you're looking at Bootstrap, you do pay for these templates, right? However, um, you can use Figma. I'm not gonna. Anyway, you could use Figma. Not pricing. Let me see resources. Trying to remember exactly where it is. I can't remember. Anywho, but you can do it. You can find designs and basically follow it in here. I have a buddy. His name is Christian Codes. You can follow him. I'll put him in the description. I'll follow him. He uses a lot of Figma for his designs and websites he designs. Me, I usually like I'll find uh, a website out there, and I'll just mimic. I'll just mimic that to see what all it does. Because if someone's actually paying for that, and especially if it pops up in like the top 5 searches, then it's probably going to be something along them lines that people would expect, especially if you're freelancing. So because this is like business season. Everybody's filing their taxes. Quarter what is this, quarter one still for, or quarter two for businesses out here. So not just in my area but then in the United States, right? So uh advertise yourself, advertise yourself. um if you want to know how I do it, y'all let me know in the comments or in the chat, and I'll get right there. Let's see what else. Beginner JavaScript. So there's a course, and this is paid. Do you need to pay? Absolutely not. I wouldn't tell anybody to go pay for stuff. Um, when you can learn a lot of things for free. If you're interested in game development, like you can do Game Institute. I've paid for this. I've paid. I paid back before like they got a lot of clout and known, because my dream was to go to Full Sail, and well, I didn't have the money and I wasn't a veteran at the time, so there was no real way for me to go. But now that I'm married with kids, three of them, that's going to be hard for me to do, to move my family all the way to. I think they only have one campus, and I think that's in Florida. For game development, audio engineering, stuff like that. Regardless, I paid for this, knowing that I paid for a lifetime subscription, so I'm pretty much grandfathered to the program, and they'll teach you everything from. Let's see, let's go into catalog. Yes, but you can get the premium. It was $100 when I bought it. It was $100, so it's interesting. Anyway, what all does it come with, right? For game design, you learn 3D modeling. I think they do it through Blender, um, or they do Unity. Yeah, yeah. So this is in Blender. 3ds Max. I use that. Um, Not for a 2D scroller game, obviously, but I was trying to learn it, got frustrated, gave it up. So I'll be returning to it though, because I'm excited, right? Android, I guess, to make Android games, right? Because this website is fully game dev, like in all ways, shapes, or forms. So modeling and animation, C sharp, C sharp, C sharp. They do C plus plus here. Net Earth, so you get the, like, they give you everything you need to develop your own game. So it's here. How to program for DirectX, all of that is here. Full stack web development. Hey, that's interesting. I didn't even know they had one. Huh? Look at that. It's new. They didn't have that when I first when I first paid for it. That just goes to show how long I haven't been. Let's see, game electronics. So that teaches you how to build a console, like your own console. And if I remember right, you used to, they had a link to like a kit you could buy. Yeah, so you could. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, well, when I paid for it, they gave you like a website you could buy a kit, right? And then it teaches you how to assemble and how to program each piece in order for you to, whether it's buy a disc or buy I think it was by disc. I don't think they did cartridges because I'm dating myself. Some of y'all might not know anything about them cartridges when you have to like blow on them cartridges and get it right or take a Q-tip. But anyway, um, yeah. So that's pretty much what they have here. Hold on, they do audio too somewhere. Like make a racing game. Uh, Unity. Unity. I had Unity. Ooh, that poor compact I had before it got stolen. That poor compact been doing amazing things with no graphics card. Anyway, well at least I was putting it to work. Mapbox, Python machine learning, Mac OS, mathematics. Do you need a lot of mathematics to start? No, but is it helpful? Yes. OpenGL. COD, Game Development, Unity Game Academy, Unreal Engine 4 or 5, and I I don't know who all references this to learn, but it's always something I give out when I can. Right? It's just good stuff. So wherever you are in your coding journey, I mean, I'm just providing resources for whatever you're trying to do because I spent a decent amount of time doing it. Being on my coding journey, bouncing back and forth between what I wanted to do and what my actual passion is, which is full stack web development. Which yes, I do have a side project for making games in VR. So once I get there, it's dope. I got my Oculus Quest 2. Yeah, I know there's a new one out. I haven't got it yet. So when I do get it, you will know because I'll be ecstatic. Let's see. Anyway, and this goes, you know, try hack me. It has curriculums and it has, virtual machines and they teach you all about that stuff like that. Don't be like me and go to Udemy. Go ahead and expose my shortcomings. Go to Udemy and purchase, especially if you're not intending to actually finish. Stop purchasing stuff when they go on sale. And I'm not saying that to y'all just because it's y'all. I gotta say that to me all the time. Like, ooh, it's on sale. I'm gonna get it. I don't know. Maybe that's part of like my culture or something like that, or how I was raised. But regardless, uh, it goes on sale, and I think the information will be useful. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be so awesome, right? Because I do have all of the complete cybersecurity course. I have all of them. Yeah, it says $100, but they go on sale quite frequently because that's what you do. It's $100 and some, and then when you see it shrink down to like $20, you're like, oh man, it was $100. I got a deal. So stuff like that. Don't do that. I've done that, right? And don't get stuck in tutorial land, right? Where you're so busy on following tutorials that when it comes to actually building things on your own, like you struggle, right? Which is why I go to websites and just, you know, what was that last video? Construction websites. I think that was them. Yep, that's them. Which I'll be revisiting sometime either tonight or this afternoon. And so, like, that's why I do stuff like this, right? I just look up a website and then in my mind I formulate what's what, where's where, stuff like that. Um, and that's pretty much how I get around not being stuck in tutorial land because there's so many decisions that you could make that make sense for you, but might make different sense to other people. And no two engineers or web developers will create the same site exactly alike. Like it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It can, but I don't think it's highly likely, right? You see, you could do different. You can do. I think I put these in ULs, right, and list items, but you could have easily done 6 sections, done it like that, or crazy idea. They could have been articles because they make sense here, but they also make sense. They tangibly relate here, but you could put it elsewhere, and it would stand on its own. It could be 6 articles. So and going through that, that's basically all of it. I think all of it. Networking, networking, always network. Get to know people. I want to be here. Y'all get to know me. I get to know y'all. Um, if you ain't catch it by now, I'm from the East Coast of the United States, so it's awesome. Uh, you can find out more about me like as we go and we interact and or on my Discord. You know, all would be cool. Um, yeah. So that's it. I appreciate y'all for stopping by. I hope these resources have been helpful. Were helpful. If you want to know anything else specifically, you can put it. You can put it in the comments or put it in the chat, or hop into Discord. Say, hey, you didn't mention this resource, and I want to know why that is. Maybe I've never heard of it. It could help me. Let's grow. Let's do our best to learn together and grow together as we take this journey. Because I know I'm not on this journey alone. So, what are your thoughts? I want to hear 'em. Also, what about the music? If y'all like it, or if you prefer me to stick to one playlist versus the other, let me know. All right, that's it. I appreciate the time. And yeah, if you're wondering, I do have two monitors. If you want to know my setup, what I have, you put that in the comments or you hop on my Discord and ask. Anyway, thank y'all for stopping by.